Hello, everyone. God here from quarantine, the area of our lives where everyone exaggerates and treats this puny sickness as the bubonic plague because they don't understand what the bubonic plague truly is. I do, because I am God. This is my first episode of a series I'm doing called Contemplation. And basically, what contemplation is we discuss philosophies and concepts that may or may not interest you. So, this episode of Contemplation, do we decide our own destinies? Destiny is an interesting thing. I will acknowledge that destiny can be changed by individuals' choices. But before we go any further, however, we must talk about a few concepts that will help us better understand this type of philosophy. First, we need to talk about destiny, also known as fate. The concept of destiny can be easily described as a metaphorical weave or cloth. This weave is made up of threads or string, which represent humans. Fate is woven together like a cloth, so that one's destiny intertwines with many others. This evaluates that if one person changes the fate, they will also change the fate of those around them. More specifically, those with relations to them. Now we talk about choice. I have already given a good example. My example was the idea that if one changes their own fate, they will also change the fates of other people. The way choice is interpreted in the weave is a way that the weave is woven. A single choice can change the way that some of the threads in the woven into the cloth, and sometimes it can even give these threads a new purpose. And now we must introduce the idea of purpose. The way purpose invests itself in the weave is the end result of a certain idea or weave. A certain area of weave, I mean. You can't just have threads of infinite length, so when a thread ends, it represents one's destiny having been fulfilled. When one's destiny is fulfilled, they no longer have purpose. However, the choices an individual makes directs their thread through the weave. If a thread is directed far enough from its original path, the thread is repurposed. When one repurposes their thread, they have changed their destiny. There are, however, outside influences, outside factors, that can also direct the thread of someone's fate or destiny. The most prominent factor is the choices and destiny of other people, specifically the people that have some sort of relation to the said individual. The threads of the people that have relations with one another are intertwined, and thus have a similar purpose. These people are connected to the individual, and their fates can be mixed by the choices of that one individual.
I apologize for that, everyone.
They, however, are individuals as well, and thus can make their own decisions to either follow the individual who is repurposing their fate or stay on their intended path. The choices of the group in turn affect the choices of the guiding individual. If the group's choices are on the same track, the repurposing remains uninterfered. If the choices of the group clash against each other, however, then the repurposing is temporarily paused. During this pause, the individual who initiated the repurposing must make a key decision. They can stay and solve the conflict, bringing their destiny back to what it formerly was, or choose to continue changing their own destiny, leaving those who had relations with them to make their own decisions. Now we must answer the question: do we determine our own destinies? The answer is yes. Yes, you certainly can. Changing your destiny isn't even hard, as you simply have to make simple choices. But your fate is yours to weave, and I shouldn't be interfering. Bye. Peace. Farewell.